The list ESPN's annual Top 100 NBA player list drops on October 18th, marking the official start of the league's debate season. This ranking, assembled by a panel of 150 ESPN experts, is intended to be a predictive exercise looking forward to the new season. The panel is instructed to vote based on a player's expected contributions, specifically for the upcoming 2025-26 campaign. This process is designed to project a player's value over the next 82 games, not to reward them for past accomplishments or career value. The stated criteria for the voting are the expected quality and quantity of play, a metric that attempts to balance a player's per-game impact with their availability. At the top of the list, the panel crowns Nikola Jokic as the number one player in the league for the third consecutive year. This ranking solidifies his position as the consensus best player, but it also sets the stage for the list's immediate inconsistencies. While the top of the list is predictable, the application of this quality and quantity criteria becomes chaotic and contradictory as we move down the rankings. Starting with the panel's baffling logic regarding injured players. The injury logic the panel is explicitly instructed to factor in the quantity of play, which means accounting for injuries and potential load management when ranking players. This criterion is supposedly a primary differentiator, separating this predictive list from a simple ranking of the league's best talent. In theory, a player expected to miss significant time, regardless of their skill, should see their ranking fall dramatically. This directive suggests that availability is just as important as ability, and a player's final position should reflect how many games they are reasonably expected to contribute. The entire premise of the exercise rests on this predictive balance of quality and quantity. This stated logic immediately collapses at the very bottom of the list, revealing a complete lack of consistent application by the 150-person panel. Houston Rockets point guard Fred VanVleet, who is confirmed to miss the entire season with a torn ACL, is inexplicably ranked at number 99. Meanwhile, Jayson Tatum and Tyrese Halliburton, who are also sidelined with their own season-ending injuries, are both left unranked entirely. This means the panel correctly applied the quantity rule to Tatum and Halliburton, but then completely ignored it for VanVleet. This fundamental contradiction demonstrates that the criteria are broken from the outset, a problem that becomes even more obvious when analyzing the panel's philosophy on rookies. The rookie problem. The list's contradictory logic extends directly to its evaluation of incoming rookies, completely breaking the established criteria. Dallas Mavericks forward Cooper Flagg, the number one overall pick in the 2025 draft, makes his debut on the list at number 78. This ranking places him ahead of established veterans and proven contributors, despite the fact that Flagg has played exactly 0 official NBA minutes in his entire career. The decision to rank a player with no professional resume is a direct violation of the expected quality and quantity of play metric, as there is no existing NBA quantity to measure. This hypothetical ranking is based purely on projected talent, not tangible contributions. The panel doubles down on this flawed methodology by also including San Antonio Spurs rookie Dylan Harper, who is ranked at number 91. Just like Flagg, Harper's inclusion is based entirely on his amateur pedigree and draft position rather than any demonstrated ability to produce against NBA-level competition. This predictive ranking for rookies flatly contradicts the punitive approach taken with injured stars like Jayson Tatum, who was left unranked despite a massive body of proven work. This inconsistent standard, which simultaneously punishes proven players for a lack of future quantity, while rewarding unproven players for a lack of past quantity, highlights the fundamental incoherence of the entire exercise. This problem of over-indexing on potential becomes even more pronounced with the ranking of another young Spur, Victor Wembanyama, Wemby at 5. The panel's emphasis on projection over proven results is most evident in the ranking of Victor Wembanyama, who is placed at number 5 overall. This represents a significant leap from his 2024-25 preseason ranking of number 11, launching him into the league's absolute elite tier after just 2 seasons. This ranking is a predictive bet on his superstar trajectory, based on his historic rookie and sophomore campaigns. His placement at number 5 suggests the panel believes he will deliver a top 5 quality and quantity contribution this season. This projection places Wembanyama ahead of numerous established, championship-proven superstars, creating one of the list's most controversial topics. Specifically, he is ranked higher than Anthony Edwards, who is placed at number 6, and Steph Curry, who lands at number 7. He also clears Other perennial top 10 fixtures like LeBron James at number 8 and Kevin Durant at number 9. This decision prioritizes Wembanyama's anticipated third-year leap over the current, consistent production of players who have anchored championship contending teams for years, a logic that is hotly debated. While the panel projects a meteoric rise for Wembanyama, it remains consistent on the 5 players ranked even higher. The top 5, the apex of the 2025-26 list, is composed of the league's most dominant forces, creating a consensus tier that invites very little argument. Nikola Jokic retains his position at number 1 for the 3rd consecutive year, solidifying his status as the sport's most impactful offensive player. He is followed by Shai Gilgeous-Alexander at number 2, Luka Doncic at number 3, and Giannis Antetokounmpo at number 4. Rounding out this elite group is Joel Embiid, who lands at the number 5 spot. This particular collection of players represents the established, high-usage engines of the league's best teams and the perennial favorites for the MVP award. The most significant movement within this group is Shai Gilgeous-Alexander's ascension to the number 2 ranking, a jump that is directly quantifiable. This promotion is a clear result of his stellar 2025 campaign, where he not only won the regular season MVP, but also led the Oklahoma City Thunder to a championship and secured the Finals MVP award. His proven ability to produce at the highest level in the postseason provides the clear justification for placing him above other superstars. Meanwhile, Joel Embiid remains at number 5, a position he holds despite another premature playoff exit last season, indicating the panel is still prioritizing his historically dominant regular season quality of play, while this top tier of the list remains largely defensible. The panel's logic begins to falter immediately after, starting with the perplexing ranking of Houston's new superstar, Kevin Durant, the KD disrespect. One of the most inexplicable drops on the entire list belongs to Kevin Durant, who, after his blockbuster trade to the Houston Rockets, finds himself ranked at number 15. This placement represents a significant fall from his perennial top 10 status, marking his lowest preseason ranking since his rookie season over a decade and a half ago. For a player still widely regarded as one of the most gifted scorers in history, this ranking suggests the panel is no longer factoring in his proven ability. This decision places him behind several players with far less accomplished resumes, creating a major point of controversy within the top 20. The only logical explanation for this dramatic slide is that the ESPN panel is projecting a massive, age-related drop-off for the new season. Durant, who is now 37 years old, is being penalized for his age rather than rewarded for his actual on-court production. This predictive model, however, seems to ignore the concrete data from the previous season, where Durant averaged an incredibly efficient 27.1 points per game. The panel is essentially betting that a player who just delivered an all-NBA caliber performance is about to hit a definitive career cliff. This questionable demotion of a proven superstar is jarring, but it is matched by the equally baffling ranking of the second-best player on the reigning championship team. The J-Dub insult Jalen Williams of the Oklahoma City Thunder is placed at number 55 on the new ESPN list, a ranking that stands out as remarkably low. This placement is immediately questionable given his established role as the undisputed number 2 offensive option on the reigning NBA championship team. Williams proved his value during their title run, where he averaged a highly efficient 19.5 points per game throughout the 2025 playoffs. His production was even more critical in the NBA Finals, where he shot a remarkable 44% from three-point range against the league's toughest defenses. Therefore, his placement at number 55 suggests the panel is actively ignoring his recent high-pressure production, or does not believe his contributions were essential to winning the title. The questionable nature of this ranking is magnified when comparing Williams to the players placed directly ahead of him on the list. For instance, Williams finds himself ranked for spots behind Austin Reeves, who lands at number 51. This relative positioning implies that the 150-person panel projects Reeves to have a superior 2025-26 season than the second-best player on the defending championship squad. This is a difficult projection to justify, especially considering Williams' superior defensive versatility and his proven consistency as a secondary creator. This pattern of undervaluing elite, high-usage players from the previous postseason continues with the baffling placement of New York's Jalen Brunson. Brunson's slide, one of the list's most confusing placements, is that of New York Knicks point guard Jalen Brunson, who enters the season ranked at number 25. This position is notably low for a player who just completed a dominant breakout campaign. In the previous season, Brunson was officially honored with a second-team All-NBA selection, cementing his status as one of the sport's elite guards. His statistical output was massive, as he carried his team by averaging 28.7 points and 6.7 assists per game. This ranking at number 25 therefore implies that the panel does not expect him to replicate this All-NBA level of production. The flawed logic of this ranking is exposed when Brunson is compared to other guards placed ahead of him. Specifically, the panel ranks Brunson a full 11 spots behind Damian Lillard, who lands at number 14. This comparison is difficult to justify with the list's own stated criteria, given that Lillard had an inferior statistical season, and his team failed to even qualify for the playoffs. The panel is clearly prioritizing Lillard's long-term reputation over Brunson's vastly superior and more recent quality of production. This puzzling tendency to undervalue a proven number one option is also reflected in the ranking of a player who is now forced to become one. New number one options. The predictive model of the list seems to completely break when evaluating the Boston Celtics, specifically with the ranking of Jalen Brown. He is placed at number 40, a shockingly low position for a multi-time All-Star who is now the undisputed number one option for his team. This placement is a direct consequence of Jayson Tatum's season-ending injury, but the panel's logic is inverted. Instead of projecting a spike in Brown's usage and production, as he absorbs the entire offensive load, the panel has clearly penalized him for the team's perceived new ceiling. This move confuses team success with individual player value. This ranking at number 40 makes zero predictive sense according to the list's own criteria of quality and quantity. Brown's quantity of minutes and offensive responsibility is guaranteed to increase exponentially, which should raise his ranking, not lower it. Placing him this low suggests the panel believes his efficiency will completely collapse without Tatum, a punitive assumption not applied to other players. This decision to rank a player's perceived ceiling rather than their projected statistical output is a clear contradiction. This same contradictory logic, which heavily weighs age and reputation, is even more apparent in the demotion of two of the league's living legends. The legacy drop. The panel has apparent bias towards projecting decline for aging stars results in the most dramatic drops on the list, particularly for LeBron James. He plummets to number 30 on the 2025-26 ranking, a startling fall from his position at number 12 just 1 year prior. This represents his lowest ranking ever in the history of the ESPN list, signifying a major shift in how the panel perceives his current impact. Despite continuing to produce near all-NBA numbers, the voters are clearly weighing his age approaching 4 far more heavily than his actual on-court performance. This drastic 17-spot drop suggests the panel believes his statistical output is about to fall off significantly. Steph Curry experiences a similar, though slightly less severe, decline, falling 12 spots from number 6 last year to number 18 on the current list. Like James, Curry is being penalized for his age rather than his production, as he remains one of the league's most efficient high-volume scorers. The questionable nature of these rankings is highlighted by the fact that both James and Curry are ranked behind Charlotte Hornets guard LaMelo Ball, who lands at number 17, placing Ball, who has struggled with injuries and team success, above two perennial MVP candidates underscores the panel's inconsistent logic. The ESPN panel is clearly projecting a massive, imminent age cliff for both James and Curry, a predictive leap that ignores their sustained excellence but mirrors historical patterns in their past lists. The vault. This pattern of potentially undervaluing aging superstars is not a new phenomenon. For ESPN's rankings, it reflects a consistent historical bias evident in previous iterations of the list. Examining ESPN's inaugural Top 100 list from 2011 provides a clear historical parallel to the current treatment of LeBron James and Steph Curry. In that 2011 ranking, Kobe Bryant, still widely considered one of the best players in the world and coming off recent championships, was placed at number 7. This placement, while still high, was notably behind younger players perceived to be ascending. Specifically, the 2011 list ranked Dwight Howard at number 3 and Dwayne Wade at number 4, placing both ahead of Bryant. At the time, Howard was the league's dominant defensive force, and Wade was a recent Finals MVP, both seemingly at the absolute peak of their powers, while Bryant was entering his age 33 season. This historical example demonstrates a tendency by the ESPN panel to prioritize perceived peak Potential over sustained, albeit slightly declining, elite production from older legends. This suggests the current low rankings for James and Curry are less about their actual 2025 performance and more about a recurring predictive model that aggressively forecasts decline. Therefore, the perceived disrespect towards James and Curry in the 2025-26 list is not an isolated incident, but rather a continuation of ESPN repeating its own historical evaluation patterns.